Pack. What's good? Where my dogs at? It's your boy Fico Jordan here, back for another weekly watch list call. We're gonna do things a little different this week. Look, we know you're here for one reason, to get chicken. So we want to jump straight over the fluff and get direct to why you're here. But first, I need you to smash that like button, click that notification bell so you can make sure that you don't miss these setups that are going forward. Look, we're giving out 200, 300, 400+% plays on a week-to-week basis. But in this group, not only are we going to be showing you where the money resides, we're going to show you how to make the money. We need you to ask questions in the comments. Many people hit us up in the DMs on Instagram because they have questions about what are our favorite time frames to trade on. They're looking at our stop losses, entries. They want to know about the methodology. You can't understand if you don't ask questions, and we would love to answer those right here for you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the market update. As you can see here on SPY, we do have a red day. Things got a little funky going down after Wednesday, after we thought we were going to get a 212 reversal back up, thinking that it was going to be a TTO. But if you look here, that thing failed 2 up on the week and the 2 weeks. So we got actionable signals. You might want to pay attention to that. Now, we are in force currently on the month. Will we bring this back down to threaten continuity with going on a full week left of trading? If things do get very violent, there's a chance that we could flip it. So one of the formulas that I always encourage individuals in the group and my Alpha Way students to use is just simply, if X reverses here and hits target, what will it make the next highest time frame look like? If we do get a reversal on the week here and an entry at 421.22, the simple question we're going to ask is, what will it make the next higher time frame look like? So if it were to hit target and we get to 410.22, look and see what that price point is as far as continuity is concerned on the month. That level would be just getting ready to go red on the month, but it would be a shooter. This could be the beginning of a nice flip. Personally, I play SPX a lot. If I see the money starting to drain, then I definitely want to be on the side of that trade, because if I can get ahead of a 2-2 month, let's just say that's a lot of money to be made, because the low of the year is definitely going to be the target going into September. Use that formula. X being the current time frame, Y being the next highest time frame. The answer that comes out will always let you know if it's a setup that should intrigue you or not. Let's go ahead and take a look at QQQ. Same situation. We have a failed 2 up on the week. If we get that reversal and price were to come down to 315.52 on that target on QQQ, it's going to turn the month into a shooter. We're starting to see continuity and flow here. Right now, we're red on the day, the week, the 2 week, we're green on the month. So in order for us to turn into a flip, we want to know, can we get ahead of this if this is where things are going to hit? When it comes to SPX and SPY, we already seen price action was reversing off of an old quarterly and a 6-month broadening formation, especially with SPX, because that came into an alignment of a major supply zone. Look, across the board, if you go look at OG Stratters, they're going to tell you only need one broadening formation. But if you look at the current range on QQQ, SPX, SPY, and SPY futures, they're not going to be able to tell you specifically why price reversed where it's reversing from. They would only know this because of an old broadening formation. Why is that? Well, we are stuck in the middle of the one broadening formation that they would tell you that you only need to draw. Take it from us. We are the best options traders using the strat. Stop. No, we are the best options traders in the market. Period. Point blank. Draw your broadening formations. Since we see this level of alignment on SPY, QQQ, we have shooters formed on the Dow on the 2 week and the week, obviously the same. Is the reversal that's setting up on those potentially going to be setting up reversal coming in on the month, since this is the last full week? They all look like it, and they're setting up 1-2-2s back down to the downside, and we can see that target is going to be the low of day. So you know what? I'm going to place a massive bet right here, because I can see how this alignment is going. If we trigger 2-2 reversal on the week on SPX to the downside, I'm going to go ahead and take September, let's say the same expiration for the monthly. So if that's the 19th, whenever that expiration date is, we're going to go ahead and take the 4,000s back down to the downside. And then after that, I'll look to take October monthly expiration for the 3,800, because our target is going to be the low of the year. Our target is going to be the low of the year. So we are not hindsight traders here. We're never going to show you a chart that we have not entered. We're not going to show you a setup that looked good to us, but we didn't enter. We're not going to show you a setup that went off after the fact. We're going to show you trades that we are analyzing that are worth our time, that's worth your time, and you should be trading, that we are getting in. Ask the pack members, they know. As for the sectors that are in SPY, if you pay attention to materials right now, you'll notice across the board, we have a lot of failed 2-2s on these sectors on the week. And just like we looked at SPY, just like we've seen with QQQ and the two other sectors with Dow and the Russell, you want to know, are these going to be moving to the downside? That formula that I gave earlier is going to be the underlying factor. It's going to tell you if this setup is going to move in your favor. You just need for it to go in force. If we go ahead and take a look at communications, you're going to notice the same thing, except on the week, we did go below 50% on that level. Buyers have completely stepped away at this point on communications. 2-2 reversal here will get you back down to 56.56, which this makes sense because I believe Meta is on Mr. Check My Resume shortlist. Energy, full time frame continuity to the upside. We were telling you this coming into this month. We can see how this move has played out. We got a 2-2 reversal in the month. High of 93.32 is definitely going to be the target. We have the most amazing Momo hammer ever on the 2-week chart. 212, that thing is out of here. You've seen what happened with Oxy last week. We had pack members in Oxy. We had pack members moving in on MRO. Oil is 100% coming out of the lows. We've known that it's come from the bottom of this broadening formation. We're going to be working our way back to the top of the range. If you go ahead and look at financials, you'll notice the same situation. We have a 2-2 reversal set up on the week. If you use the formula on financials as far as the week is concerned and you get to that target at 33.66, what's that going to make the month look like? Turns into a shooter. You notice this across the sectors that we're looking at. It's consistent. If you look at industrial, same situation. Shooter, if it takes you back down to 95.60, what's that making the month look like? A shooter. If you look at technology, if you get a 2-2 reversal on the week and it takes you back down to the lows at 143.50 range, what's that making the month look like? A shooter. If you look at staples, full time frame continuity, you're not getting a reversal out of staples right now. So energy, full time frame continuity, staples, full time frame continuity, sounds like that's where the money resides, right? So if you're looking for a reversal, you're going to look at sectors that are definitely not energy, not staples, and we have another in this gang. If you look at real estate, same situation. 2-2 reversal takes you back down to the lows, turns the month into a red shooter, flips continuity. And then as far as full time frame continuity to the upside that you're not going to short against, it's definitely not going to be utilities. So utilities, staples, and energy are all full time frame continuity up. So you're definitely not going to short against those. Then if you look at healthcare, similar situation, but not an actionable signal to the downside. So healthcare, pay attention. You do have a shooter counter hammer on the day. So if that takes you down to the lows, it will trigger the week. Even though there's no actionable signal currently on the week, there is one on the day. So there's a little conflict on that. We have a green day, a red week, but a green month. So that's not going to be on my high priority list going into the week. And if we look at discretionary, a beautiful shooter counter hammer on the week that will take you back down to about 161.70, which would flip the month. Continuity to the downside, putting you in full time frame continuity back down to the downside, up to the month, and setting you up for a 2-2 reversal back down to the low. So you see the consistency. Whenever people ask us, well, how do you guys know what setups to look for? It's simple. We're going to go chart our futures to kind of get a direction of way things are going. All macro, no micro. I'm not interested in the day. I want to know the week, the month, and how those in a cascade are going to affect the quarter. Then I want to go ahead and take a look at the indices and see how things line up. Are those four in alignment? As you can see here, what we went through before with SPY, QQQ, Dow, and Russell, they are. They all are setting up reversals to the downside. I'm going to look at the sectors in SPY. What sectors are headed down, showing reversal? Where does the money reside in terms of strength? We have three sectors that are all going full time frame continuity to the upside. So if I ask you, is that where the money resides? What are you going to say? Simple. Now, whatever you see in the sector, you're now going to look in those sectors and look for the stock. You're going to look in the sectors and see the stocks that are in alignment with the setup on the sector. Period. Now, just because you see the setup does not mean the trade is for you. You need to analyze it first and see if it's worth your time. Don't just take blind trades. This is all part of the plan. This cheat sheet and checklist can be found in the Alpha Way. This cheat sheet and checklist can be found in the Strat Hunting School in the Alphapack trading community. If you want more information on how to join that course and mentorship program, the link is below. There is a discount to joining Alphapack lifetime. You'll get that cost of 25% off. The choice is yours. If you want to expedite this process, you're definitely going to want to click the link below. Now, let's go ahead and check with Boss Gang and get an idea on what the Almanac is telling us about what the market is looking like after options expiration historically this month of August.
Appreciate that, Fico. So the week after August expiration has been mixed. The Dow has been up 8 of the last 16 sessions and down 8 of the last 16 sessions. Last week was expected to be bullish, and it was for the most part. We had some mixed results. We saw going into the last day of expiration, we saw a lot of movement from XLP. Energy continued to move off the lows. So I don't see why those wouldn't continue to move. For the rest of the month, it is going to be a little bit choppy. So this is going to be a matter of finding where the money resides. So we have to be meticulous about our decision making and where we decide to invest this week. So as always, Fico, you know what we're going to do. We're going to find where the money resides. Let's get it.
Appreciate that, Boss Gang. I'm going to kick it to my homie Wealthy soon, and he'll go ahead and show you what he got for the dogs to eat this week.
All right, what's good, family? I'm going to go ahead and get straight into my list. First thing we got on the list is going to be BKR. I'm liking the setup that we have currently on the week. Nice inside week. If we get this rev on the week, we can take this month back green and continue to move up to the upside. I think we hit a nice low and are reversing from that level. Next thing on the list, we got KHC. This is an Alphapack favorite. If you know, you know. KHC also has a great setup at the moment. It's inside on almost all time frames. So we want to get that break on the day and week first. That way we can go ahead and move on to the 2 week as well as the month being revved up to the upside. I see a lot of great potential in this one. But it's just consolidating right now, so we just got to break that consolidation, and then this one can fly. I have BNY on the list. We got a nice move in healthcare on Friday. I think that BNY is going to be one that continues to go. If you look at it on the week, we made a nice hammer on the week. I thought we were going to be able to close with a green hammer, but nonetheless a hammer. This one also in a little bit of chop, so we're breaking that chop to the upside. I believe we're sitting right on a point of control. There's also a volume profile gap back to the upside, so this one, I love this one. Next one, we got HPQ, Hewlett Packard. Shout out to Warren Buffett. He's been investing heavy into this one. This one is one that I'm just watching, not 100% in love with the setup, but there is a setup to the upside. So this one, just an honorable mention. Another one we got is CVX, Chevron. We have a triple inside week. more just consolidation. Some TA might even see this as a nice little flag break. Once we break this consolidation period to the upside, we should fly. So I want to definitely take the week entry on this one. As soon as we go 2 up on the week, especially in force, this is what I'm going to be looking at. Next, I got ACI, which is Albertsons. If you look at this one on the day, you'll see we got the same consolidation. So you should see a pattern. What I'm doing is I am trading the chop, the break from the chop. So once we break the chop either to the upside or to the downside, that's when I want to put my money in, because then we don't have anything to stand in our way. So this one, just like the other ones, as soon as we break the chop levels, then we're going to fly to the upside. I'm going to take whatever goes in force. And then I have 2 shorts on my list this week. We got Disney, DIS. They ended with a nice red shooter on the week. I'm taking that shooter down on the week. Even just hitting our first target, which would be the low of the previous week, that should be a nice move on the Disney contract. If I looked at XLY and the rest of the sectors that correspond with Disney, they're also trending down. So I think this is a great move. The other short I'm looking at is going to be Target, TGT. TGT is a little bit more aggressive to the downside, it looks like, than Disney. As soon as we get this shooter entry, we're going to take that 2 down. If it goes in force, we have a lot of targets to be able to take out on this one. Target is one that moves actually pretty fast, so the premiums could pay well. Also, just be watching for that TTO rev back to the upside on a smaller time frame, maybe like the 4-hour or the day. But overall, I think we're going to get a quick push down on TGT to start the week. So I'm going to be looking for puts on that, and I'm going to lob it back to Fico.
Appreciate that, Wealthy Soon. Next up, we got Boss Gang VIP. Go ahead and show them what you got for the dogs to eat on this week.
You already know what it is, Fico. We're about to go ahead and give them that work like we always do. So without taking up too much time, I know why the people here, so let's get to it. First ticker I am going to be looking at is NVS Novartis. Sure, you guys have heard of Novartis before. Pretty clean right here, looking for entries over $85.84. 2 down, 2 up week on Novartis. One of the tickers, my man Cam G has mentioned before, I'm going to be looking at Vermilion, VET, energy play over $25.87 for that entry. Another one we all like, I'm sure, KHC, looking for entries above $38.95 KHC. That's that catch up right there. Another consumer stock, SYY. We all know SYY. We see the delivery trucks. Looking for entries on SYY above $87.17. A little more energy. Let's get into it. FANG, FANG. FANG. We're all familiar with FANG. Looking for entries on FANG above 131.59 on the week. Like FANG here. Something else I'm going to be looking at is Albertsons, ticker symbol ACI. I go shop at Albertsons all the time. I'm a member of the little program. I get little discounts on my groceries, cash back. So looking for entries on Albertsons ACI above $28.92. One that I alerted last week, utility play, it moved a little bit. So we're up off the original entry. Got a new entry on FE. is the utility play we're going to be looking at. I mentioned that we're up off the entry from last week, got a new 212 on the week entry above $41.33. Another ticker I'm going to be looking at that I found interesting was Google, but this is not the regular Google. This is GOGL. It's not Google at all. GOGL. Golden Ocean Group. It was interesting because I saw some crazy options activity. Stock was down 2.6% today, and I noticed that some of the contracts were still up. I looked at the historical levels. It looks pretty interesting, so I'm going to keep my eye on GOGL. Got levels on the day above 1052. The safer entry would be on the week above $10.97. One more ticker I'm going to be looking at, BG, like BG Knockout, free BG. Bungie, we all know about Bungie and what they do for the most part. So, going to look for Bungie got an entry on the day above $100.85 and a weekly entry at 101.23. The last ticker I'll be looking at this week, little Nordstrom JWN. We're all familiar with Nordstrom. Had a crazy week last week. Full time frame continuity. We actually got the pullback toward the end of the week. So the last few days of the week, we got the pullback. So we ended up with the green 2 down. So I'm looking for this to go back in the direction it was already going, being very, very bullish. So I'm looking for levels above $24.57 on JWN. So that's the list that I got for this week. Hopefully everybody's able to capitalize and make some money off of it. So we're going to have another great week. That's all I got. Back to you, Fico.
I like it. Boss Gang VIP is always with the fire. Next up, Mr. End Your Friday Early. He smashed with MRK on Friday. As usual, Mr. Zero Day. Mr. Check My Resume. What you got for the dogs to eat this week?
It's good with it, Fico, man. I appreciate it, man. So, keep it real quick, man. We had a banger of a day today, man. So shout out to the pack for that 0 day, MRK, Oxy, SO. We did the damn thing. So looking ahead to next week, one of the first tickers I wanted to talk about that Cam did bring up, and that's BMY with that Bristol Myers. But I'm not going to get into the ticker there because Cam brought that up, as well as KHC. But I did want to talk about CVX a little bit with the triple inside week, which we've been tracking. We did set alerts for CVX about 2 weeks ago. So those of you that are still in are just chilling. But also, in addition to the triple inside week, we've got a month level break above that 164.66 level, and once that occurs, I'm really looking for this thing to push up to this 182 level, similar to how SO did after it broke its triple inside week a few weeks ago, as we took advantage of, where actually it's still going today. So we're looking for a major move once this thing does break, and we're looking for an upside break. So I really wanted to kind of throw a little emphasis on that CVX play. I did have a couple downside setups as well. First one I want to talk about was Meta, META. Looking to take Meta to the downside here. I'm looking at an inside week currently. So I'm really looking for the 212 down on the week. The level for entry would be below 167.05. And then on the day, looks like, I'm sorry, not the day. Excuse me, I have my levels wrong. But here on the month, looks like we're still inside on the month. So we do have a potential break on the month below 154.85. So we'll see what happens. We do have that potential for us to break, and once we get below this 161 level, then we could potentially look for that month level break. So Meta be one that I'll be watching out for next week to the downside. Also, another downside play is PENN Gaming, PENN Gaming. Looking at a double inside week break to the downside, looking at a level of $33.92 as a level for entry. To take that one down, I would probably guesstimate down to around the 32.30 level would be a level that I'd be eyeing as a first broadening formation. But you've got some more levels below that as well. So Pin Gaming is another one I'm looking at to the downside. And back to a couple upside plays here. First one I want to talk about is J&J, Johnson & Johnson. First off with Johnson & Johnson, we've got the inside week. We had a very strong day today. So we're looking at the inside week. We are 2 down on the month, but it looks like we had a failed 2 down as well as a failed 2 down on the quarter. So I'm really looking to see if Johnson & Johnson can push to the other side of this range on the inside, which will push us up around the 180 level on Johnson & Johnson. So we're looking at this inside break entry above 170.12 for a level to take. And again, like I mentioned, looking to see if we could take this one back to that 180 level overall. But there'll be some stops along the way. So I like the way J&J setting up for next week. All right, moving on next into discretionary. Wanted to talk about Dollar Tree DLTR. DLTR, we're looking at a TTO here potentially on the week. But we've also got an inside day, inside month, and an inside quarter here. So we're looking at a few different levels potentially to move on the Dollar Tree. So first level I want to talk about is the inside day. We're looking at a break here on the day above 168.74 to give us a 212. And then on the week, we are looking for a 2-2 rev on the week here above 169.79. And then again here on the month, we go 2 up on the month here above 175.68. So we got a little bit of work to do, but there is potential for this one to continue moving up. And again, to take the quarter back 2 up, we would need to get above that 177.19 level, which appears to be all-time highs. So that's Dollar Tree. To keep it moving here, last ticker I want to point out is Crowd, and that is a downside move here on Crowd. CRWD would be the ticker. We had 2 down day today. We are 2 up on the month. However, we did come in contact with that broadening formation at about the 204, 205 level. And as to be expected, it rejected off that BF. And moving down to the month, we are looking at an inside week, and we're looking to break below 188.55 on the week. And that'll give us that entry. And I'm looking at levels of 185, then 177 as levels to the downside on Crowd. So that pretty much concludes my watch list, FICO. I'll turn it back over to you. But again, if we're bearish next week, just always keep your VIX in the tuck. We always want to make sure we're hedging when there's opportunity to do so. But again, man, we got to put another strong week together. So back to you, man.
Heat check. As always, the bros got fire. I'm going to be paying attention to SPX for the gang, and then I might give you a more updated list. But if you have any questions, feel free to hit us up. I'm always active on Instagram. You can see our social media accounts below in the description. And before you go, make sure you like, subscribe, and click the notification bell. Look, that's the watch list we have for you this week. Short and sweet. We hope you have a wonderful week. Make sure you set your alerts. Make sure you get those levels set. Have your alerts ready so you don't miss any setup. And if you need more information on joining our community, visit www.alphapacktrading.com, and we'll be happy to get you started on your journey. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Peace.